said I love you.
Jesus, truly you are the Son of God.
The Holy Spirit came and it said it.
It's fine. Oh, love of God. What's Jesus give me a message?
Did you like your Sunday lunch?
Yes, Sunday lunch was amazing. What's with the pasta?
Wild Grain is sponsoring today's video. It was Wild Grain pasta. So I was wondering if you liked it.
No, it tasted like homemade.
Yeah, we already had a pretty chillaxed Sunday so far. Everything kind of went like normal. We were 2 minutes late to church. It's sadly
Typical.
not abnormal.
Yeah, that's typical.
But we had an amazing lunch thanks to Wild Grain, which they're the sponsors of today's video, but we'll talk about that later. But every year for the last, I think this is the 5th year now, we've done an annual Valentine's Day Q&A chit-chat. So Josh is gracing us with his presence again this year. So thank you, Josh, for coming. Any introduction you'd like to make about yourself?
I am Mr. Megan Fox Unlocked is who I am.
Why do you like to call yourself that? He thinks it's so funny. I think it makes it sound like I wear the pants, and I hate that.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the I think most married men, that's the way it works. I mean, we answer to one person.
Okay.
Yeah. But yes,
this is my construction contractor, husband, dad of 4, solver of all my problems, fixer of all my vehicles. I was going to say pumper of my gas, but you've been slipping lately. I've been pumping my own gas lately.
Since I don't drive your minivan much.
Yeah. Oh, he bought me a minivan, guys. He's a real keeper.
Yeah.
I say that sarcastically. No, actually, that minivan, it is pretty life-changing. Yeah. And we decided just to use the podcast setup because, what, Josh, you wanted to do the nice microphones.
Yeah, it's easier. Everything's set up here, so.
He's the sound technician for our podcast, Honey I'm Homemaker, plug. If you're not watching, listening every other Monday, you need to check it out here on YouTube.
Yep, it's on Spotify, Apple Podcast.
So anyway, I think you just secretly wanted to see how you sound on a microphone because you set it up all the time for us.
Right.
You never had the chance to talk
Correct.
on it.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun.
Yeah.
The kids love sitting here and like playing with it and stuff. Yeah, I think we have a bunch of little performers. Would you be shocked?
Oh, no. They get to see their mom do it all the time.
Yeah.
So.
Well, my friends, a lot of them, their kids are like very shy. Or I was just talking to my one friend. She said her kids are so clingy and they're always on her all the time.
Right.
And she just wants some free space. And I said, honestly, I never feel that. Like, my kids are not clingy at all. I'm more of like, they get in trouble because they're off playing independently.
Right.
And I don't catch them, scribbling on the wall or whatever. So, yeah, pick your battle,
Speaking
I guess.
of scribbling on the wall, somebody drew smiley faces on the basement stair wall.
I saw that. But our basement's so ugly, I was like, do I even care?
Is it a fight we're starting? I'm not sure.
I need to investigate because, yeah, that can't be happening.
Parenting. Parenting is fun.
Yeah, somebody was asking about our parenting styles, but I'm like, we're very much the same, just never at the same time. It's like when you're the nice guy, I'm the mean one. And when you're laying down the law, I'm like, no, it's okay. They didn't mean to.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like we're very...
Yeah.
You probably think you're more strict, and I think I'm more... I feel like I have to do more of the parenting because I'm with them more.
Right.
But you don't have a lister of any kind. You didn't prepare at all.
Not at all.
This is so Josh and Megan.
I didn't prepare a bit. I assume the way this is going to go, you have all your questions, you put it out on Instagram, you have suggestions, and I don't know, I'll just add whatever 2 sentences I have to add. Otherwise, I'll move on.
Someone asked if they would ask you 10 years ago if you could have seen me doing what I'm doing now with like, they said with doing YouTube, podcasting, all the aesthetic content. Was I extra always?
Yes.
Yeah. I think you could have seen that.
I mean, we got married, 11 years ago? Almost 12. It'll be almost 12 here in July. I mean, her wedding decorations were over the top. Like
Oh.
that's what you are. You're an over the top person.
It wasn't over the top. It was just that.
It was over the top, like way more than your friends. Your friends weren't dragging old barn doors into the wedding reception area to decorate.
But that was the style. And obviously, my reception space was so ugly because we insisted on having 350 people at our wedding. So our options were limited.
I mean,
like,
I got a big family. What am I going to do?
Like, no barns back. Well, it wasn't their family as much as the heat. Dad said no barn wedding in July.
Oh, yeah. And thankfully we didn't because it was 95 degrees.
Yeah. It wasn't. I didn't want my wedding to be over the top. I just wanted it. I just had so many ideas, and I have one wedding, so if I'm not going to do it for this wedding, when am I ever going to do it again? So I kind of just had to do all the ideas. Yeah. At one point, Mom's like, we have to stop because her and me were bad for each other. We kept coming up with more ideas together.
Yeah.
So we had to do them naturally, but it didn't help. My great aunt is in the wedding rental space, so she had all kinds of stuff. Like, she let me buy all kinds of things, and then she bought them back from me because the shabby chic style was coming in then. That's how long we've been married. Like, the shabby chic style was coming in, and now it's been out for forever.
Yeah.
And that's how long. Like the mason jar, old doors. But I liked how it tied in the old books with my teaching and the old, like, stepladder arch and stuff with your construction. So that was cool.
The arch you weren't supposed to have.
Oh, that's right. There was, like, drama. Yeah, you weren't really supposed to have an arch, but if you had an arch, it was supposed to be a traditional arch. Oh, my. Were we, like, the rule benders? I don't feel like we were. I mean, how is a rusty stepladder?
That's a better question for our parents,
against
maybe.
God. Yeah, true. Oh, man. Well, they must have trusted us enough to let us date at 17 and 18. So.
Right.
But they also probably knew they couldn't stop us.
Right. Yeah. I mean, exactly. What are you going to say? No?
Like, I would say 50% of the questions was literally, how do you make time with little kids? How do you make time for each other? And I don't really have any revolutionary answers, but we've started, like, hanging out in the kitchen more together, which I love. I don't know if maybe you hate it because it's my jurisdiction. But, yeah, I've heard of families who will sit, like, the mom and dad will sit on the sofa and talk, and the kids know to just play and leave them alone. We've never done that, but it's funny. The big kids, if we're working in the kitchen together cleaning up after supper, like, the big kids disappear after they clear the table because they don't want to get roped in on any more chores. And then the little guys, they're too little to understand anyway. You know, they often play with the siblings too. So it's kind of nice. We're kind of getting a 20 minutes of chatting and connecting from the day. You know, sometimes it's just like asking about each other's day, and then other times it's like you talk about the politics or the news for the day or something like that.
Right.
Did you hear this? And so and so called me about this, and yeah.
I think we make bedtime fairly religious. Like, it's 8:30 is bedtime, and the kids got to be going to bed.
Yeah.
And therefore it gives us, an hour or so after the kids are in bed, to spend together. So I think that's probably, in this stage of life, that's probably one of the best tips. Yeah, just getting the kids to bed and making sure, like, don't mess around them. That gives us time to spend together. But I don't know when else we'd even do it.
Yeah, I know, because mornings, oh my goodness, I've learned that about you in the first, 6 months we were married.
I like my mornings.
His mornings are his sacred time. And I like it too, and I can have my morning to myself an hour after yours.
Right. No, I like to get up and just, sit, read the Bible, like, just relax. Like, that's kind of the time to spend between you and God.
But how many minutes into your morning do you not feel ill anymore? Like, sick?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Like, when I wake up in the morning, I feel like awful.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Like, if the alarm woke me up and I have to get up, I'm never,
50% of the mornings I'm awake before my alarm.
It's blissful. Oh, my word.
And I'm like, I'm ready to go.
But yeah, he'll get up in the morning and do packages for Fox Sparrow, and I don't know what you all do. I don't know.
That was a bunny trail.
I'm in bed. What? No, that was on my list.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I was going to ask you about your mornings because, I sometimes feel guilty that, like, my one friend, she cooks, probably a lot of my friends, gets up and makes some breakfast every morning, then goes back to bed. Like, sometimes I feel a little guilty about it, not going to lie.
Nope. Let me make my coffee, have a cookie, and pee. When else would I do it? Like, I don't know how else you would.
Yeah.
Like,
if I have a baked good for you, that's like my little love note to you in the morning.
Yeah.
You're happy with your...
I would rather not have you around in the mornings. It's just I like.
I would rather not be there either. To be honest, we're perfect for each other. Right?
Evenings are the time to spend together.
Speaking of cookies, I just heard the timer go. The cookies are probably
Sure.
cooled off. Do you want to try one? Should we have a cookie break?
Hold it. That was not what I was expecting to see.
These things are massive, though. We could probably just share one, right?
It's a big cookie.
I know. You don't even like warm cookies, do you?
I don't know. I like my cookies like cold. Same way with most pie. Like I don't like warm. I'll eat a warm apple pie. That's the only pie I'll eat warm. Every other pie I want cold.
You're so specific. Wild Grain is the first baked from frozen subscription box for sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, and fresh pastas. They partner with small bakers and pasta makers across the country to keep the tradition of artisanal and nutritious food alive. I always get their classic box, but they do have a gluten-free option as well as a plant-based option. I just love to see what they have on the docket every month, and everything we've gotten from them has been out of this world amazing. My favorite part, obviously, is pulling it right out of the freezer and popping it into the oven without any thought at all. So it's really a great last-minute option, but also that it comes right to my door is so convenient as well. But not only that, their food is literally out of this world good. Like so amazing. You have not lived till you tried a Wild Grain croissant. So many of their products are sourdough, and not just regular sourdough, but slow fermented, which is much gentler on many people's digestive systems. It's richer in nutrients and antioxidants and can even help lower blood sugar spikes. And when you buy a Wild Grain box, you can know that you're supporting the best small bakeries across the country. I'm so excited for you guys to try them. So when you go to the link below and use my code meganfox, they're going to give you $30 off of your first box. Plus, they're going to throw in free croissants for life. Of course, get the croissants, get the pasta, add some bread in there, but try something from their seasonal menu because everything I've had from them is so good. Again, when you go to wildgrain.com, use the code meganfox, and that's going to get you $30 off at checkout, plus free croissants for life. I'm so excited for you guys. Let me know what you try. I don't know how their stuff is so good, like out of the freezer.
Very good.
Right now, I don't have time to do all of my baking. I usually bake my own cookies, like I enjoy that. That's a lot of fun. But I don't make all of our bread products and stuff. I just love seeing these geese go by. You keep seeing them? Mm-hmm. Does that mean it's like spring soon? No.
Yeah, they're usually starting to fly back north pretty early. I don't know why that is. It is strange.
Like even before it's getting warm. Mm-hmm. I guess they got to get the best spots. Is that what?
I don't know.
I would love to get a hobby or a passion or interest together besides the kids. I don't know. Sometimes I think a flipper house would be so fun where I can help make the decisions and we can make it cute and everything. Like we have a couple rental properties now, but you pretty much did all the work. And when it came to me helping with it, it was just like, here, Megan, which of these 4 builder grade options do you like the best? You know, and I would just point and pick and kind of have like, I didn't get to have a lot of creativity in it or anything. But like, do you ever see your money back for making cute spaces like that for rentals? Probably not.
It would have to Airbnb it. If you're going to put a lot of money into, the aesthetics of everything, you're going to have to Airbnb it out because a long-term rental, you're not going to get your money back. At least not in today's climate as far as real estate prices.
We're not selling it through photos like you do with Airbnb or whatever.
Right.
So I don't know. Sometimes I think that would be a fun project, but I wish we could find a podcast we liked. Or this year, I guess we've kind of gotten into history a little bit more. Like you've been listening to your history podcast, but it's not the same stuff. Like
I get into history for a short period of time, then I'm like, all right, I'm bored again.
And like I was listening to church history, and you were like, "This is the most yawn-worthy thing ever." You just were not into it.
Yeah, I mean, sure, it's interesting, but like
for 5 minutes.
Yeah, I don't. It's not something I can spend a lot of time.
And I'm sorry, I cannot make my brain listen to that Philly Eagles sports drivel. I cannot. Like, I do like sports, but I cannot get in. Anyway, so we're looking for, like, a common interest. Right. I think we would love to do – I love sports, and Josh loves – you love golf. And, I mean, I feel like we could definitely connect on even running or something or going to the gym together. I feel like we could have – that would be a great hobby for us to do together. But it's just the path of least resistance is not doing those things. Like, it's so – you have to line up a babysitter, and I don't know. At the end of the day, it almost feels like we'd rather use our babysitting time to go on a date and actually talk. But
yeah, I mean, we talked about working out, going to the gym together, but there again, to get a babysitter to do that, it's like if we're gonna go to that, get a babysitter, let's go out to eat together. Let's go, because going out to eat as kids is hectic. So it's like I want to go sit down and enjoy a good meal.
But I do miss those driving range days where we used to go to the driving range and stuff, and Evonnie would sit in her car seat. Can you imagine us at a driving range now with four children?
We would take the place over.
We would get kicked out.
Oh, my word. Yeah, they're not quite old enough. We need another probably 5-6 years, and then we
Yeah.
can do that a lot more.
We used to listen to the John Deloney podcast together for a while until
Mm-hmm.
it was like bad for me because I started realizing,
Right.
wait, guys do that. Wait, what if Josh is that how Josh thinks? Wait, would Josh ever do that? And all of a sudden I was like, am I doubting my own husband? Because it's like things that I'd never even, maybe I'm not too trusting.
Yeah.
I trust you.
Yeah, I enjoy the kind of the psychological part of that podcast, that show, but again, it's negativity. It's so much negativity.
Yeah.
I just don't need to hear about everyone's problems. I
Yeah.
don't care unless it's someone close to me. I just don't need to be thinking about the problems all the time.
Yeah.
And that's
Once in a while they'll have one that's more like, how can I relate to my child who's dealing with this or
that's not all bad. Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. I don't know.
but I thought there for a minute, oh, we can connect on that. Well,
Right.
that lasted like 2 months too.
Yeah, because you were also like, oh, all these problems are people having. Do you have these problems? Do you have this problem? I'm like, no, I don't have these problems. Like,
I'm ashamed, but I also know I'm not the first wave to do
right.
that.
No, I understand. Yeah,
Oh man.
I love it.
Somebody asked if we feel guilty leaving our kids when we go on a date, and I would say absolutely not. I feel more guilty because we don't go on dates more.
I don't. Yeah, I definitely don't feel bad leaving kids at a babysitter. One of the things is they're going to places they want to go to. Their grandparents, their cousins, their great aunt Rita, like they love going there, and so it's not like we're taking them someplace where they don't have fun. They have a blast. I just don't know why you'd feel guilty. I mean, it's good. You shouldn't feel guilty at all for getting a babysitter to go on a date. Ever.
I do sometimes feel guilty asking my mom to babysit, but that's why we
Right.
try to go during the week. I don't want to have to make somebody commit to babysitting a couple weekends ahead of
Yeah.
time, which we have a wedding coming up here. I need to get babysitting for that. That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it will be fun. Maybe what their question was more referring to is getting babysitting for like a weekend trip.
Oh,
I don't know, because that's the only time that you feel a little like I feel a little tinge of like
especially when they're little, they don't understand that mommy and daddy are
right.
coming back.
Well, I
But
feel bad.
also
I
the-
feel bad for my parents or your parents or having to watch your kids for more than one night. It's like we're the ones. We created these little problems, which they're not problems, but we created
The little kids. I didn't know
and
what you
all
meant
of
there
a
for a
sudden
second.
we created the little kids, and now we're taking these little kids and sending them to somebody else for a night or two while we go on a little vacation. And we do that about once a year. Usually every fall we do it for like just a weekend, 2 nights. And it's like, yeah, you kind of feel a little bad, but our parents have always assured us that they don't mind doing it. So
Yeah. Well, all of our kids are, give or take, 2 years apart.
Yeah.
Our first were like 18 months. That's the closest, 18
Right.
months. So how did we know each time that we wanted to have it's time for the next kid? How did we know that?
oh boy, the question of are you done having kids?
No, I didn't
Is
ask
what-
that one. I did not ask that one. That one's here too, but no.
Oh man, no, I don't know. It was we kind of
It was always you. Like, okay,
Oh,
well, why
really?
not? Why not the next one? Yeah, you're always like, well, the kid's a year old now. I mean, whatever.
well, I think we both were in agreement. We want to have them like while we're young, have them quickly. So we were in agreement there, and that was kind of our plan. Which I think that's part of getting married. You have to have a plan. Like what ideally, how would you want a family plan?
But we didn't plan because Josh doesn't believe in planning. We were just, we were married 4 years till we decided to have
Yeah,
kids.
we didn't have an
so-
exact date, or like we didn't have exact year of when we want to have kids. It was like, when is it going to feel right? And it finally got to the place where like, hey, we're ready. Let's have a child, and we did. And then from there, it was, all right. Now this one's old enough. That was easy. Let's do another one.
Oh, so when you forget, our kids do all sleep through the night at
Yeah,
7-8 weeks or whatever.
Right.
Our last one rung us through the mill till 12 weeks, but that's still amazing compared to a
right.
lot of
Oh,
people's
correct.
kids.
Yeah,
So that also weighs into it. Your health, honestly, finances. I didn't even really think about finances till number 4 came along, and I'm like, especially with sending them to private Christian Mennonite schooling.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, yeah, you definitely have to. I mean, you're gonna have to sacrifice some things. That's just how it is.
we're not in any position where we want more kids right now. But and let's say, oops, number 5 comes along. If we would end up having another one,
Is the man who does not believe in oopses.
fair enough.
we won't get into that conversation. But somebody asked, "Do you believe in birth control?" Depends
Yes.
what you mean by birth control, but yes, we believe in family
Definitely.
planning for sure. Natural Cycles has sponsored my YouTube channel before, so you could look into that maybe if you're having more questions. But yeah, I keep a little thermometer by my bed. And somebody asked if we schedule intimacy. I'm like, no.
Schedule it?
Yeah, apparently that's a thing. I've heard of that before. But no, we do not.
No.
We'll leave that there. Have you ever Googled the actress Megan Fox? Are you a fan? I thought that was a funny question.
Yeah, we know the name and we know who she is, and it's one of those things where that's kind of part of the platform, right? It's Megan Fox. We don't condone that kind of lifestyle.
Did I tell you about the guy at Barnes and Nobles? He's like, is your name actually Megan Fox? And I don't know why. I just was like so sick of hearing it. I heard that like 1,000 times before. In fact, we went on a bachelorette trip up to Boston, and I went to check in. I booked the Airbnb, and I came in. They were all whispering behind the front desk and blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, sorry, we thought maybe you were the real Megan Fox. And I said, I am the real Megan Fox. Anyway, but back to the Barnes and Nobles guy. He was like, is your name actually Megan Fox? And I don't know why I was annoyed. And I said, yes, but I'm going to be famous for other things. And this was before I had a YouTube channel or anything. So I don't know. Anyway, it kind of cracked me up. So
Right.
yes, I'm a very different one for sure.
Well, hey, we get to show people the opposite of whatever that
Wait, she's
is.
supposedly very beautiful. So I'm the opposite of that.
Okay. Yeah, wolf. I guess. Hey, Megan, look at me. In my eyes, I think you're very beautiful. I think you're very pretty. Your eyes are incredible.
Okay, stop.
I'm going to make you blush.
Somebody wanted to know about house projects, and I was just going to brush over that one, but you have a pretty funny story. We do have some house projects coming up here. Would you, just to be honest, if they go back and watch when we moved in, the condition of our house, would you have just left it the way it was?
Me? Oh, yeah.
Like if I had never said anything about it?
Yep, probably.
You wouldn't have tried to make any upgrades?
Well, the paneling on the walls. I hate paneling. That living room had paneling on the walls.
So that would have annoyed you?
That would have disappeared. Beyond that, like
The carpet you probably would have changed.
I grew up in a house that was like it's a roof over your head. Keeping what you have clean is the most important thing. That's like my mentality.
So you probably would have ripped the carpet out because that couldn't have got clean.
Right.
But other than that,
flooring, because floors got to be clean.
I was thinking about it. I have a couple of robot vacuums.
Yep.
I have a stick vacuum. I have a central vac.
Right.
I have a vacuum / mop one.
Mm-hmm.
I have a broom, and yet my floors are still dirty. Like
Kids. One word for you.
Yeah, and we don't even have any animals in the house. My goodness.
It's a lot, but
anyway, so we slowly have been working on fixing up our house.
Yes.
And we're coming into the home stretch.
We have some improvements coming up here, some things we want to do. We've been saving money for a few years for the big one, and that's the kitchen. So I'm really hoping, or we're planning, at this point we're planning to do the kitchen here probably this summer because that's the way things are moving. We might do a laundry remodel as well here, which is a lot more inexpensive. But we decided we'd like to do the laundry before we do the kitchen. The flooring, everything kind of feeds together in our kitchen and laundry. So we figured we might as well get them both done at one time. But we'll probably do the laundry first. So that way we have a working sink and stuff and move into the kitchen and do that. So,
which our laundry is actually very important to us compared to some homes because it's our entryway pretty much from the garage. It's basically the mudroom laundry combined.
Yeah.
And we really do not have a good system at all. So it's going to be like we keep going back and forth about stuff, and I keep telling him, yes, that would look prettier, but I have to live with it. Like I have to function with it.
Mm-hmm.
I use that room so hard. I want to have spaces for me to sort my laundry into 4 different compartments and stuff like that, even though it's maybe not the best aesthetically. I use this room so much. But anyway, I was also wanting to make it pretty where I can, and one of those ways was you guys probably follow Studio McGee & Co. Is that what it's called? I don't know. Anyway, I saw her one laundry room that they had redone had like a drilled holes, like a design in the doors. I don't know what you would call
it's
that.
It's like a diamond.
Anyway, I was showing this to Josh, and what did you say? You just like rolled your eyes, and you're like, come on.
Right.
You tried to give me like 4 or 5 reasons why absolutely not. That would not work, and that would not be
right.
Like, why would you ruin a perfectly good door? And then he comes home from work one day looking very sheepish.
So I was pricing out a laundry model for somebody, or working it, coordinating it. And I was there discussing the project. I'm about to leave, and she goes, hold on. I had this picture of something I found on my phone. I'm wondering if you could do it. And what was funny is in my head, I'd heard this story before. And when she said laundry and I saw the colors that she was going with, and it's a lot of your same style. It's almost everything's the same as your style. And in the back of my head, I went, there's going to be holes in these doors, and isn't there? She pulls up the exact same photo with the green cabinets with the holes drilled in the doors, and she goes, could you drill the holes in the doors like that for me? I'm like, you've got to be. You were talking to my wife. You had to be.
You can't write this stuff. It's so funny. I don't even know who
man.
you're talking. I never met the lady in my life. We call each other throughout the day. It's like some people are like they never hear from their husband at all. That's not us. Like you call me just as much as I call you. Let's be
There's
honest.
no way.
100%.
No way. I get 3 calls from you during the day, almost every day, with sometimes the dumbest question on the planet. What was the question the other day? Oh, it was a question of, does my van have 4-wheel drive? I was like, this is hands down the dumbest thing I've ever got a call about. Does my van have 4-wheel drive? You've driven this van for how? No, the van does not have 4-wheel drive. And then you follow up by going, I backed into a snowbank. I'm like, you backed into a snowbank? Like, I don't understand. And she's in her parents' driveway, and she says she backed into a snowbank. Okay, I'm 45 minutes away. What am I going to do about this?
I don't know.
And it turns out you, either didn't back into this. It was you just being dramatic.
I did back into the snowbank, but then I backed out of it. I mean,
Right.
pulled out of it.
So why did I need a phone call about you backing into a snowbank?
Yeah, but praise the Lord that solved itself.
Right.
But
Anyway,
I had to back up and down her driveway 6 times until I finally got enough speed on the stones to fly up out of there.
Get out. I don't really answer my phone during the day. Like if my phone rings, I either just let it go to voicemail. I'm working. I will pull it out sometimes and look to see who it is. Well, it's my wife. I got to answer. And then when the question is, does my van have 4-wheel drive? And I'm like, I don't even have to answer that question. You know your van doesn't have 4-wheel drive.
I was just hoping. I was praying.
But anyway.
But that's what you say. But my friends would tell another very different story. Whenever I'm together with them, they're like, does your husband call you a lot during the day? I'm like, no, why? So my friends think you call me a lot.
Right. And that's
Like,
fine.
You do. You call me. Like, I would say you call me about 3 times a day, too.
But I usually have, there's a reason I'm calling you.
Same.
And
Anyway, my point is, I think we've been doing better at
Yeah.
making sure we talk about if you're going to be late or not. Not that it's bad that you're going to be late if I know about it, so I can prepare. Obviously, I hate when you're late, but it's much better if you're late and I knew about it than if you just, like, aren't there, because then I start worrying or the food's burning or... You know.
Yeah, but usually I usually know if it's pretty rare that I work late though.
But I love that you work for yourself because, yeah, like you don't have to work one Saturday a month which, let's be honest, you work a lot more than one Saturday a month just because of, but it's for us though.
Yeah.
It's not for, yeah. So what are we going to do for Valentine's? I brought up that, remember how we used to do takeout on Valentine's and like watch a movie and eat takeout food while the kids are in bed? And I thought it was so cute. You're like, yeah, we're doing that again this year too. Like, I didn't even know you look forward to that.
Oh yeah, I do. It's what we do every Valentine's Day.
Even when we didn't have kids. That was our tradition.
Order some takeout. Kids go to bed, and we get some takeout food in, and we watch a movie or something, and I just love it. Like,
I know. I kind of look forward to it all year.
yeah, it's a fun little, and we do that occasionally throughout the year.
Sometimes in the winter.
Yeah, winter time we do.
But Valentine's is like.
Yep, Valentine's. Yeah. That's the one day that's what we do. The
and
kids go to bed at 8:00. You're going to bed, and me and mom have the rest of the night.
Don't call me mom. Don't you dare.
Well, I don't.
I'm gonna bleep it out.
I do not call you mom. I don't. But if I'm talking to the kids, I call you mom when I talk to the kids.
I guess. I
tell the kids to keep mom happy.
Stop it. I think people want us to talk about politics. They're like optimistic or pessimistic about the next 4 years. I will say it's been very fun watching the press secretary. I never paid attention before. Like, do presidents usually when they come into office, like, boom, 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 do stuff? Like, is that normal?
Yeah, they usually sign a bunch of executive orders, and
okay,
a lot of times isn't quite as like a lot of stuff Trump is doing is very it's dramatic changes,
wide sweeping and
yeah,
stuff.
he's doing some big time changes. His press secretary is fascinating. He's picked some pretty, like the one he had, Kayleigh McEnany, is that her name? Kayleigh. She was eloquent. Like, she was incredible too. She had a notebook up there, but she really didn't even read from it. She never like just sat there and read from it. Like, she just ad-lib, like, she was so intelligent and very good. This girl apparently is pretty similar.
Yes. Oh my
I don't know
goodness.
her name.
Caroline Levitt. Love it. My goal, you know this. Like, this is not political here. One of my goals for 2025 is to be a better speaker. You
Yeah.
edit the podcast. You know how many times I say and I just want to be more eloquent. And so listening to her talk
Yeah.
is just so, I don't know. I'm like, wow, she's so quick and on her toes. She's very like angry sounding some of the time, but that's because I'm guessing the people in the room are not on her side. And
Correct.
you know,
Yeah.
but I like it. She just shoots it how it is
Yeah.
and doesn't really back up at all. And she doesn't say, I feel this way. This is how it is.
Right,
And I
right.
want to be more that
Yeah.
way, especially as I'm coming out of the young, inexperienced mom phase into the more of been there, seen a few things,
Yeah,
done a few things,
yeah.
but I'm still young enough to be in it with the young moms. You know,
Right,
I'm still
yeah.
figuring it out, but I'm a couple years ahead. I want to start speaking with a little more authority or experience, you know, and not always just be like, I mean, I don't want to tell other people what to do, but I also want to be confident in the reason I do the things that I'm doing. And I think we're all mature enough to know that anybody can change their minds
Yeah,
or try
absolutely.
a new thing or
Yeah.
experiment with something different anytime and not apologize for that.
That's the biggest part of it. Like, even when you and Jana do the podcast, you're each speaking from your own experience. It doesn't make one or the other right or wrong. Doubling back to the politics thing. Yeah, I think for us as Christians and Mennonites, you know, we live in this world. We're a part of it. You can't deny that. And so we have to walk that line of being involved, but not like making that our life, because that's going to take away from being able to serve the real purpose of why we're here.
Yeah, and it just,
Now, I will say this. I do think, and this is a Mennonite kind of Amish thing, we raise our kids to be good citizens, and I think one of the things that we do really well as Mennonites and the Amish in the communities in the U.S. is serving our neighbors. Disaster relief, I mean, you can say what you want. The different groups in that, there's busloads of people heading to Tennessee to the areas with the floods. I've been served on a number of different disaster relief stuff. So it's absolutely, it's not necessarily even just serving our country, it's serving our neighbors and doing unto them as we would have them do unto us.
yeah. Okay, somebody I think was getting a little snippy here, but it's fine. We'll answer it. Does Josh ever get sick of the constant filming?
I think people don't seem to grasp the concept that YouTube or Instagram is such small little snippets of our life. Like, it's not like we're putting our whole entire life out there. Somebody I talked to recently is like, how do you, like, what's it like? Like, you feel like you live in a glass house? I'm like, not really, because we only show very small parts. And some of the reasons why we do it is to show people kind of our Christian lifestyle. That's what we're trying to show. So
Yeah,
I don't really mind it. I see it as a mission. I see it as a hobby for you. It's a hobby turned into a little bit more than just a hobby, which is fine. I love it. Like, I think there's a purpose. If there was no purpose behind it, I would probably like get a little annoyed more. But I see it's you love it. I can see that. Like,
Well,
why
and it's
would
also it's brought so much into our lives and so many opportunities
Yeah.
and like, yeah.
Correct. I will forever say this, and you never are not sure how to take this, but we would never be where we're at in life if it wasn't for you doing YouTube. We just wouldn't be here. It wouldn't be possible. Whether it's, obviously you make the money is really nice, having that extra income, it makes things a lot more financially stable, but it's the opportunities. It's being able to go, we went to Minnesota with Inherit Clothing Company and the Akrons up there. They're amazing. I'm trying to think where else. There's just so many opportunities like that.
You just love when people come up and say hi. I'm always like a little like,
Oh,
if
yeah, I
my
do
friends
love
are
that.
around, I'm very sheepish, but like I like when
Right.
people say hi, but you just eat it up.
Yeah,
like,
I do love it. Again, it's opportunities. It's people. It's being able to be friendly to someone and be nice to someone and have that little interaction that you have no idea how it affects their day.
I just love how I can. They don't know how it affects my day either. Like I love how I went to Aldi on Thursday. 3 people. 3 people in the 20 minutes I was in the grocery store stopped and talked to me about YouTube. And the one lady said I helped her through a very dark time. I don't know what's all going on, but she's back at home living with her parents. She's my age. And she's like, you helped me through a really dark. I could have just sat there. I was loading my groceries into the cart. I could have just cried. Anyway, so yeah, stuff like that. It's much more, there's a purpose behind it all. Somebody wants us to sing a duet. You sing and I'll play piano.
Well, we're far away from
I
that.
would like to hear that.
Yeah.
You're a good singer though. You have all the mics and stuff. You should do a project.
Yeah, it would be fun to try sometime, but I don't have the skill you think I have.
Really? I
No.
like your voice. It has like a different quality to it, I feel. I don't know.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you thinking that.
The weirdest thing you like about each other? I don't know. Your hands. I love your hands. Your hands are. I grew up with a mechanic dad who always had stained, greased up, hard working farmer hands. Like he was a mechanic and a farmer. And that's just how I think guys' hands should be. And you always have ripped up, gnarly, hard construction dude hands, and I love it.
Okay.
They said weird.
Weird.
They said weird. So
Yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to think of something weird. I don't know
That's
what's
a
weird.
body. That's a physical thing. I guess I should have
Yeah.
went something a little more
Something
personal.
weird. I can't really think of anything about you that's weird.
You probably secretly like how I am always so cold because then I always want to cuddle. You probably like that.
Yeah,
and
but
just-
I'm hot. Like I'm warm, so I don't want to cuddle because I'm warm.
Okay, so.
But I do want to cuddle. I do like to cuddle. You're right.
I was gonna say you're a cuddler. Don't get it twisted. Oh, somebody asked. This was a good question. Did you both grow up in families that traveled long distances for vacations? And I definitely did not. We were farmers, and so we went to the cabin in the spring and the fall when the veal barns were empty. We had like a couple weeks that they would clean it all out and start the next batch of veal calves. And so we went to the cabin in the spring and the fall, and once in a while we'd go to the beach for a weekend. And that stopped when my 4th was born. I guess either money was tighter then or it was just too much work to go to the beach with 4 kids. Probably the latter, let's be honest.
Right.
But yeah, we did not vacation. I remember going to North Carolina to visit my aunt and uncle who were on the mission field. And we went to Ohio to visit them as well when he was doing training with JARS, which is like a airline branch of Wycliffe Bible Translation, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure who they're really.
And then they went to Papua New
connected
Guinea,
with.
which we never went to Papua New Guinea to visit them. But yeah, we did that. And I remember going to New York one time to visit mom's friends. And we drove through Times Square, and I was like 13, and I was absolutely a brat and whining and crying that we couldn't get out. And Dad's like, we are not getting out. We can't just stop here in the middle of Times Square. He was not going to get out with 5 kids. And I was like, I just want to watch a Broadway show. I had no concept of money or what a Broadway show even was. That's just what I heard. Anyway, so I remember doing that. But I got to milk cows at my parents' friend's house, and that was so fun. Way better than a Broadway show, I'm sure. And yeah, that's pretty much my travel experiences when I was a kid.
We went to the cabin once or twice a year. We also went to New York. My uncle and aunt lived in New York.
I didn't know this about you.
Yeah, we went up to New York.
Did all your cousins?
That's where I got lost in the cornfield when I was 3 years old. 3 or 4. And I remember it a little bit. My cousin was a little bit older than me. He remembers it very vividly. And
How lost were you?
We didn't know where we were. Me and him went into the cornfield together, got lost, didn't know where we were, and we had an argument in the cornfield. And I said we need to go this way to get back to the house. He said no, we need to go that way. So we split up. But yeah, I ended up being right. I got back to the house, and they were looking for us. And I came out of the cornfield. Looking back, that cornfield wasn't even that big. It was actually fairly small. But yeah, it was pretty funny. We had a good time.
I'm sure your mom thought it was good times.
Oh, I'm sure.
It's horrible.
But as we grew up, we went up there every other year or so. We drove 4-wheelers and watched my cousin crash a snowmobile into a fence. And it was good memories up there. But
So yeah, neither of us traveled.
Not more than that.
So it's not ever been really a dream for, like today at church, they were saying how it's such a gift to take your children internationally. And I feel like that's not even something neither you or
hasn't been on my radar, no. But we also have little kids. Once they're older, sure.
It's something that's not really a possibility right now. And so I'm not
Right.
really, people do. People travel with little kids.
So
4 little kids, but why? I don't know.
I could see it if we had family somewhere. on mission work or something, then I would go, you know what, sure, we would go. I don't see much purpose in traveling out of the country unless you're going for a purpose.
The U.S. has so much to offer, and
Yeah.
there's so many parts of the U.S. I want my kids to see. Now that I want to try, I
know.
want
I can't. Yep.
I want to take them to every state if I could. Like, I know that's not, at least the 48. Like, I would love to, but that's going to take, that would be so cool if we could do a lot of traveling before they're like 16 or whatever. Yeah, taking them to Minnesota was so awesome.
Yeah, that was fun. But they're not going to remember that. Evonnie's about the only one that remembers that. So, once Evonnie's like 16, Baylor would be what? 9.
They're 6 years apart.
Yeah, so 10. So that would be an okay time to try it, to do a West trip. But even at 10 years old, like we went to Canada. We went to Niagara Falls into the Canadian side when I was
We did that when
12,
I was 3.
13.
So you were older. You remember it. I was 3.
And I barely remember it. Like as a 12,
That's
13-year-old.
crazy. I have a good memory, though. I remember
Yeah,
stuff.
you remember stuff
I
like
remember my
crazy.
3-year-old trip to Niagara Falls.
Like I just don't. The only thing I remember is they had that video, and you remember that too. Apparently, the lady and the cat going into the barrel.
Yeah, that was scarring.
Yeah,
Why
that
did they
was
show that to
scarring.
us?
I'm not sure.
It's awful. I was 3. I like had nightmares about that.
You're 3 and you
They
remember
put her
that.
in the barrel with the kids.
See, that's an insane. No wonder you remember stuff from 6 months ago that I did that ticked you off.
It's a blessing and a curse. I'm telling you.
It's crazy. Like I can't ever remember anything, not negative anyway. That's funny. I shut it out.
You feel like we're entertaining enough?
Sure, I think we are. Well, you know what?
You're a fox, though. You like to hear yourself talk.
That's what my mom always said. I like to hear myself talk. Yep.
We are very, like, people say we're similar. Like, we present.
Mhm.
I'm very outgoing. You're very outgoing. Would you say you're friendlier than me, though? Or is it just that you're a man and men
I
can
feel like
connect
that's a
with...
trap because if I say yes,
Well, no, just honestly.
I mean, I don't know. I'm more of an optimist and you're more of a pessimist, so it can come across in conversation a little bit more that way.
You know what? I'm thinking of at church. You can talk to everybody and anybody because the kids aren't hanging on you. They're all coming to me. Mom, when are we leaving? Mom, we're hungry. Mom, and so it's almost not worth it to me.
I was gonna say, like, I wouldn't consider myself to be nose in the air, better than you.
Oh, you're definitely not.
But I can still have my moments of that. Like I can catch myself being like, I don't want to talk to that guy. Like I just don't I don't know.
This is something me and my friends were talking about, or I was wondering if they had any advice, where I feel like, okay, so I have a relationship with God. Then I have my marriage. Then I have my children that I'm trying just to keep alive, let alone raise good citizens, Then I have my home to keep up with. I have my family, my mom, my sisters, that I feel like I definitely am not as close with them as I would like to be. Like I wish we did more things together, right? Okay. And then I have a business on the side too yet. And we have nap times to figure out and all that stuff. Church life. Is it bad to say I'm not, like I can hardly keep up with the friends that I do have? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like
more.
I'm out there looking for more friends. But I also firmly believe that there are best friends in my life I haven't met yet. Like that's so exciting to me to think like, oh my goodness, I could meet somebody someday in the future that I don't know now at all. That it could be one of my best friends when I'm 60. Like I love that thought. But I also, when am I ever going to make time for that? I can't even make time for the friends that I do have, it feels sometimes.
Yeah. There's probably a lot of people out there that don't have that in their life.
Yeah, that's a lot of different realms I listed.
Yeah.
But Mennonites do community so well. We just went through the whole, it's been 500 years in January of the Anabaptist movement starting. And that was one thing that was very distinct and different among the Anabaptists. Like being a Christian is not just about your relationship with you and God. Yes, that's the primary one. But we're all going to heaven together. Like you need your tribe. You need your support system, your accountability, your community, your church family. And they didn't only look up. Like nowadays, I feel like almost everybody, like they might go to church, sit there, put their hands up in the air, sing, listen to a sermon, whatever, maybe just listen remotely from home. But it's not connecting 3D with the people around them too and having accountability and people that are like, they have your back, but they're also willing to call you out.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think we found over the past year that it was a community around us that really helped us get through some hard times this year, and it was powerful. It really is powerful. So yes, I think I think the world around us, in the Christian world, it's a lot of me and God. It's about me and my relationship with God. And while that's true, that's not all important. Came out a little bit wrong. It's important, but you have to have your community around you. That has to be a part of your Christian life.
Yeah. And if you're wanting to receive, you also have to give back too. Like you want to help others and then they can help you in your hard times. Like that's what friendship is. Any tips on budgeting and living within your means, even when it means going without? I think the most important thing is to not compare yourself. Maybe even just delete all social media. Delete Pinterest if you have to. Like, live like it's the 90s where you don't even know what other people have. And just look around at what you do have, and are you happy with it? Like, are you chances are you'd probably be happy with what you have if other people weren't telling you that you should have this and you should have that. And I know I have sponsorships on my channel and stuff, but you can't all support every single sponsorship that I have, and every product is not for every person, and we're all daily making decisions. Yes, I want this. No, I don't want that. Yes, I choose this. I don't choose that. And I think almost, maybe there's some people out there that haven't had to do this, but I feel like almost everybody at least goes through some season of their life where you're just focusing on the essentials.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I don't know, for me, when I had that time of my life, I would say, yeah, comparison was the thief of joy.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Yep.
also, it helps if you're a creative person. Because if you are creative, you can make those weeds in your backyard look like a beautiful flower bouquet, and make your ugly kitchen table and your ugly floors and your darkly lit kitchen look a little more cheery and make you feel happier. Yeah, I would say lean into creativity and don't compare.
Yep, absolutely.
You had another idea, though. You said work harder.
Yeah. Well, that can be some of it. If you have the free time to sit around and think about what you don't have and be, I don't know what the right word is, discontent, that'd be the best word. Well, then maybe you need to, find something else to do. Like,
Yeah. See, I didn't even think of that just because work ethic is so ingrained into us.
yeah,
I feel.
correct. It is ingrained
I
into us.
forget
It
that.
comes natural. Yep.
Well, we've been modeled it since we could walk and talk, which, not saying it doesn't sometimes swing too far into the workaholic
Correct.
sphere.
Yes.
Which I have to say, I didn't really say much about things I love about you in this podcast. I was trying to keep it more practical and less mushy gushy, whatever. But
Right.
I feel like you've had really good work-life balance the last couple of years.
Yeah. No, especially this past year, I felt like I was able to have a very good balance, and a lot of that was because I'm on my own. But it's not saying that if you have a 6 to 5 job, that you can still have work-life balance. Some of the difference is I might have to spend evenings in the office. A lot of people work 6 to 5, don't have to spend evenings in the office. So
Yeah, but just having you bodily home is a comforting feeling.
it is nice, but not everybody can do it.
Oh, it's such a privilege. Yeah, for sure. Anything else you need to tell the masses, the peoples?
No, I love and appreciate you as my wife and as a mother. You do a great job, and I love what you do with YouTube and everything. I'm proud of you. So that's really all I have to say.
I couldn't do it without you.
Yep.
Anyway, yeah, happy Valentine's, everybody. And if you don't have a Valentine, big whoop. It's fine. Maybe he's coming along. Maybe he's not. We'll
Right.
pray if that's what your heart desires, that's what you get. But in the meantime, somebody asked, what can you do to prepare to be a godly wife someday? Which I think I get where the question's coming from, but don't just sit around and wait for him. Go do your thing. Make yourself happy. There's so many things you can do. There's so much freedom you have in the season you have now. Pretend it's only for a fleeting moment and it's going to be gone soon. And you'll be married with children and a house to run and all that stuff. And just do all the things now that you want to do. Just take the risks. It's only going to affect you. It's exciting. It really is. Yeah. Happy Valentine's Day, everybody.